There was a call to my office to retain us days before she went missing, and then I had a conversation with her probably 24, 48 hours, I think, before she went missing. The biggest issue that stuck in my mind that day was her discussing what advantages could be gained in the divorce from telling the police how Drew had killed Kathy Peterson.
There were two witnesses the jury credited as the most convincing. One was the man that you just saw, Harry Smith, with us last Saturday. The other, Stacey Peterson's pastor, Neil Shorey, joins us now from Chicago. Pastor Shorey, thanks so much for being with us.
I'm glad to be with you, Judge.
All right. You ministered to Drew and his wife, apparently for the first time in 2005. Do you remember anything about them? Was there anything about this couple that stood out to you?
Well, I think their age difference was the biggest thing that stood out. I mean, he's much, much older than Stacey.
And I think it's about 30 years or something. But after that first meet, in 2007, Stacey Peterson calls you, and she wants to meet with you, so you meet with her at a Starbucks. Tell us what she said to you.
I met her at the Starbucks, and Stacey, after we talked for a while about regular marriage issues, she said she wanted to tell me something. And I said, well, Stacey, if you'd like to share something with me, you can, but I don't want you to feel any pressure. So after a little bit of time, she said, she just blurted out, he did it. And I said, what do you mean? He did what? And she said, Drew killed Kathleen.
What did you say when she said that to you?
I was just in utter disbelief.
And of course,
I've heard a lot
Pastor, excuse me for interrupting, but you knew what she meant because you were from the community, I assume.
Yes, I was from the community, but I still wanted to clarify, certainly.
And what did you say? What did she say?
I asked her, I said, who did what? And she said, Drew killed Kathleen. And she ended up giving me quite a lot of detail about the night that Kathleen died.
And you testified to that at the trial. And tell us what you told the jury.
I told the jury that Stacey and Drew went to bed at the same time the night that Kathleen died. And at some point, Stacey woke up in the middle of the night, and Drew was not in bed with her. So she looked all over the house for him and did not find him. And at some point, she found him by the washer and dryer with a bag, and he was dressed in all black. And he removed all of his clothing, and then he emptied the contents of the bag into the washing machine. And she walked over and looked inside the washing machine, and she realized that there were women's clothes in there that were not hers.
You know, Pastor, the jury many of the jurors have said that it was your testimony along with Harry Smith that was the turning point for them. But I want to ask you on a personal level. You received a phone call from Drew Peterson after you met with Stacey, his fourth wife, saying he wanted to take you on a plane ride. What happened?
Well, it was a pretty scary moment. After I left Stacey, after she told me this bombshell of information, I went back to the church and I checked my voicemail. The red light was flashing, and I checked it, and it was Drew Peterson. And he said, well, Neil, I know that you just met with my wife. And he said, we haven't met in a while. It'd be nice to meet with you so you can kind of hear what's going on in my life, too. And he said, and it seems like a pretty good day for a plane ride, so we could meet over at the airport.
And what did you do with that call as a result of that call?
I immediately called him back, and I tried to, as calmly as possible. I just told him, my wife's on bed rest, we're about to have twins, and all I do now is go to work, and I come home, and I help my wife. And I said, I'll have to take a rain check.
And did you feel that he was threatening you or trying to intimidate you?
Well, it did. I would definitely say that was his goal. I have no idea what he would have done to me.
Well, Pastor Shorey, I think that you certainly realize the importance of your testimony, and hopefully there'll be justice for Stacey Peterson as well. Thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Thank you, Judge.
And after the break, Drew Peterson's lead attorney, Joel Brodsky, with some exclusive information from the inside of the Peterson defense team. And later, Kathleen Savio's voice from the grave convicted Drew. What are Stacey Peterson's chances of getting justice? I'm going to tell you what I think.
We
said thank you.
He thanked us for
representing them.
Thanks us for our service. He was very happy with what we did.
All right, his client convicted of murder and facing 60 years in jail. The leader of the Team Dream who ended up with a nightmare verdict. Joel Brodsky joins me now from Chicago. How are you, Joel?
Doing okay. Doing okay.
Okay. When you spoke to Drew Peterson after the verdict, what did he say to you guys?
Well, he wanted to tell the team that he was very, satisfied and happy with our service. He thought we did a great job. He said that he is going to be holding his head up and walking out of the court with his head up because he knows that he's an innocent man, and that we should do the same because we did very good work. All
right. Now, the decision to call Harry Smith, as you know, Joel, was one that people have referred to as a colossal blunder. That Harry Smith was the one person in the trial who was able to say that wife number 4 said that Drew said he actually killed wife number 3. Why did you guys put him on the stand?
Well, and this was a decision of, I would say, the entire team. I mean, that we debated it, and there were some dissenters, but clearly, there was a consensus. But he was put on, and this is the problem with hearsay. We had to show that Stacey had a reason to fabricate, a motive to fabricate, and people lie in divorce cases or contemplated divorce cases in order to get more money. And so we wanted to give that jury a reason of why she would fabricate. Unfortunately, Harry didn't tell the same story he had told before under oath and in police reports, and we are going to put as part of our our post-trial motion the fact that he did change his stories under oath. And in fact, when he said the concealment to homicide was the advice he gave, you look at the statute, failure to report a homicide is not concealment.
But Joel, so that's not the issue. That's not the issue, what the definition of concealing a homicide is. The issue is wife number 4 says, can I get more money in the divorce? Because he told me, if I threaten him with it, he told me that he killed Kathleen. I mean, when you weigh the scales of justice, don't you say, well, I can make her look really bad, or I can have someone say he killed a 3rd wife? What's the choice? Did Drew Peterson
well, that's the choice, but
agree to this?
And this is the problem.
Did Drew?
Oh, absolutely, and this is the but this is the very problem we have with hearsay, because we don't have the person on the stand to cross-examine. So we cannot get into their motives. We can't ask them all those revealing questions. That the truth, they say that cross-examination is the engine of truth. Well, we can't confront the witness. The only way we can do this is through other people's testimony about implied motives, and that's the very problem and the very danger of hearsay evidence.
Well, there's no question, but if a guy's smart enough to get rid of all the victims, we're not going to cut him loose, especially given the fact that if you kill someone so they can't testify in a divorce, and you kill wife number 4 so she can't testify in the trial of wife number 3, you can't look at the judge and say, nah, 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 nah. Can you?
What trial, though? I mean, but what trial? What if Stacey was in fact killed? Which trial?
Divorce. That Kathleen was killed so she couldn't testify in the divorce.
No, not Kathy.
Stacey killed so she can't testify in Kathleen. Anyway, look, are you worried about an ineffective assistance of counsel? Are you worried about that?
Absolutely not. This was the right call to make. We've talked with a lot of lawyers who understand this decision and understand that it was the right call to make at the time because of the difficulty of dealing with hearsay. They say that failure is a lonely orphan, and that victory has 1,000 fathers. Everybody, if we had won the case, everybody would have said, what a smart decision, what a great decision. And when you lose, everybody wants to criticize and try to put it off. I was the leader of the team. We made this decision among the team members as a team, and we are all stand behind it as the right thing to do. It was the only thing we had to do, and we're going to move forward with the appeal now.
Joel, there is no one who is suggesting that you guys didn't work really hard. You had quite a team there, but, you know, I don't think that there's any question but that several jurors placed the conviction at the feet of Harry Smith, a witness called by the defense.
And, you know,
but stay with us, Joel.
And another jury might have said something else. You know, another jury might have looked at it differently.
That's true. Stay with us, Joel. I'm bringing in our panel, our expert panel, former LAPD homicide detective, Fox News contributor Mark Furman, former prosecutors and criminal defense attorneys Joey Jackson and Jeff Gold. Okay, guys, now, what you've got here is a case where they got a conviction that is almost unheard of because of the hearsay evidence. Joey, I'll start with you. Sure. I mean, is this going to survive an appeal? Is this guy going to get off?
Well, first, we'll see about that. But quickly, let me say this. Number one, congratulations, Your Honor. You opened on it, you summed on it, and you summed on guilty, okay? Now, I think also that the prosecution here in their closing really tied it all together. And what was big in that closing was what you talked about in your opening. Common sense, the bruising, right? How do you get all that bruising from one fall? That was very significant in their mind. They also summed up on what you just asked me about. That was the circumstantial evidence having to do with hearsay. The problem, however, is that everything that was admitted in that trial with regard to hearsay was heard by appellate courts. It was admitted, and as a result of those hearings on the appellate issues, it was all legal and proper. Okay. How do you overcome that?
I don't know. Jeff, can he overcome it?
No, he can't. It's not going to be reversed on appeal. Not only were the issues already addressed, but Judge Burmilla, as you know, was very, very tough on the state. So tough on the state that he took out any possibility that there's reversible error in this case.
And you know what? That's the only thing I'm going to give him credit for. He was so tough on the prosecution, there's no way this case will ever be overturned.
Absolutely. He's not going to be reversed. He's going to get at least 40 years in prison, and very soon they're going to figure out a little bit more evidence and charge on Stacey.
Okay, Mark Furman, you were involved in this way back in the beginning. Didn't you find Pastor Shorey?
I did find Neil, and I had the advantage of spending hours with him, so I knew for a long time how great of a witness he'd be and how much he really had to corroborate. But going on this appeal issue, I am not an attorney, but layman-wise, the defense cannot appeal claiming hearsay when they put on one of the witnesses that uses hearsay.
You know what? That's very smart for a non-lawyer. You're a smart guy. Joel Brodsky, what do you say to that? How can you claim that it was hearsay and it shouldn't have been admitted when you guys put the witness on the stand?
Well, but we didn't plan on that witness fabricating on the stand. And,
yeah, but who puts a witness on the stand when you don't know what he's going to say?
We did. We had his prior sworn statements. That's his problem. He said one thing under oath before, and he said another thing under oath at trial. That's a problem for him.
Judge.
He's talking about the
hearsay
2010
hearing
hearsay
and the grand jury.
Judge, that is
and the grand jury twice.
Joel, you know this. That's what cross-examination is for. In the event you put a witness on the stand and you anticipate,
but hearsay hearing.
But no, because you can't. But that doesn't give a witness an opportunity to lie at a homicide
It's an inconsistent statement that you could confront that witness.
It's more than an inconsistent
statement. You said this then. You're saying this now.
Right.
And as a result of that, you cross-examine that witness and show that they're lying.
Right, but that doesn't exclude perjury. That does not exclude lying under oath.
Joel, let me just ask you this, Joel. When you put him on the stand, you asked him what Stacey said to him. You elicited the hearsay. It's not going anywhere.
And we expected him to, no, believe me,
you
this
asked
is going,
him
this
to say what Stacey said. That's it.
Let him answer.
And he changed his story. And that may very well be what reverses. From saying that from moving from that it was extortion and an attempt to get money to this concealment of a homicide, which is absolutely ridiculous.
But that's almost irrelevant.
That may be the very thing that
statement. He killed Kathleen. And she told him that he did.
But the very reason, and one of the jurors even said that the concealment of the homicide is what sealed it for her or him. And that is how it's going to do it. Okay.
Judge,
that's what may overturn this whole case. That alone may get reversal.
If you take Harry Smith and you eliminate him completely, Neil Shorey will carry this, and it would be it won't be reversible error. It'll carry it.
So it's harmless error.
Let me tell you something.
It's not error.
Okay.
Because
you know what, guys? We're in the weeds. Here's the bottom line. Is it going to be overturned because of that?
No.
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 Yes.
No. No. Yes.
No.
I'm the judge.
Absolutely.
No.
There you
No. All right. How
There's a
much time
lot
do
of
we have in
other
this?
error. Trust me. There's plenty of
Okay.
error in that record.
All right,
Plenty
look,
of
Joel
error.
Brodsky, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I didn't agree with you. I didn't agree with a lot of the things you did, but I think you gave it your all. And at the end of the day, it's about Kathleen Savio, and she got her justice, and your client is going to get his. Joel, thanks for being with us. Mark, Joey, and Jeff, thanks. All right, Kathleen Savio's family finally got justice. But what about Drew's missing fourth wife, Stacey? Her family is with me next.